Talk about maybe the process of you planning the collection, obviously mapping it out this way, and maybe specifically this one too, if this process was similar to the past ones, or...
Yeah, like normally, like, you know, when working on the collection, I like get lots and I get tons of ideas. So usually that's kind of what you see here. A lot of them are just like little thumbnail, like quick ideas, because that's just kind of like how I like to work. So I could be at home, I could be on a plane, I could be wherever, and I will just sketch tons of like little ideas. And they could come from, you know, I could be inspired by one little image, whether it's, you know, something in this collection, it was like these kind of dark petals and these black orchids, and I was inspired by them, but that's really just a jumping off point. It goes into something so much more. Like, then I just come up with the most random ideas, and that just comes from imagination, really. So that's kind of how I like to work.
Where do you find black orchids in Manhattan?
You don't. I actually found this book that had all of these really amazing images of all different plants that are black, and they are, you know, and they have the coolest name, like you know, like voodoo, like lily, and black orchid, and all these like interesting kind of dark, kind of creepy looking plants, which I just think were really interesting and very kind of, they're, you know, obviously organic, but have very beautiful organic shapes, and I just like that idea. So I felt like for the collection we played with a lot of like texture, lots of texture of these kind of like plant life creatures almost. We did a little bit of things that, nothing was literal. We have a print that is this like orchid print, but it's very abstract, and then we did some of these like laser cut petal details that actually do look like plants, but in a beautiful, like, feminine, romantic way. So yeah, that was kind of like the idea.
Do you feel like that dark side is maybe a departure from stuff you've done in the past?
Well, I think I always like, you know, to play, like, last season I feel was so, like, a color and print, and, you know, it was very vibrant, lots of reds, and that world, which I loved, and it was a really good collection. You know, it was our best season sales-wise, but this collection I was, you know, just in a darker world. I was just in this kind of mood. I like this creepy feeling, and yeah, I like to kind of be different each season if I can.
Do you feel like the winter maybe has like an impact too? You see some of the
like
darker...
New York is depressing. So like the winter totally like makes you just like, ugh. But I think a little bit also in fall, like it's kind of nice to be able to do coats and jackets and layering pieces. So like a lot of the first looks in the collection are lots of like layered pieces, like jackets with these like kind of sheer skirts, and, you know, very covered but not, and then goes into like, you know, beautiful cocktail dresses and then evening gowns. So that's kind of like the story that we're building.
And talk about like maybe the sort of ideal consumer for the collection.
You know, it's like a mix from, you know, who kind of buys a collection. It's everyone from that young kind of cool fashion girl who, you know, maybe only buys, you know, one piece per season or so, but, you know, she loves it, and then it could be her mother or her grandmother. So it's quite a range, and it's kind of hard to design for that each season. But, you know, for me, I have a pretty weird fan base because they come from different worlds, and I could sell, you know, to an older woman, you know, in her late 60s, you know, even 70s, who's buying evening gowns because she has a social calendar. She's buying evening gowns, she's buying cocktail dresses, she's buying jackets to go with them. But then I could also sell something that's cool and young to her daughter. So it's an interesting mix. And I just think that, you know, for me is kind of what I've been trying to keep going.
And last year you collaborated with Payless on a line. And I love the boots, by the way, I own them. And I'm curious about like any future collaborations you might have in store for 2011.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, Payless and I have been working together for a while now. It's like we've done like 8 or 9 collections together, which is crazy. And we're going to continue for the next few years, which will be great. And what else do I do? Like, you know, I've done lots of little things for, you know, little projects, you know, Starbucks, and I did this little project for Ocello, which was just like, you know, really funny little thing, and, you know, they all are like, almost for me, I take it as like a job. It's almost like a as like a design job. That I would do even if I was just trying to learn something new. That's like new and exciting. But I don't think there's too much in the works for like the next few months. I pretty much focus on the collection. Focus on the shoes and the bags with Payless. Maybe I'll do my own shoe collection in the next year, which would be great. They would be a higher price point, so it would be very different from Payless. But that would be a goal. And then maybe jewelry's in the mix somewhere down the road, and we'll see.
And who are you sort of most excited about, or what in fashion are you most excited about right now?
What am I most excited about? It changes every day what I'm excited about, like kind of in fashion. Sometimes it's a cool girl that I like love, that I want to see who she's wearing or what she's wearing. Or it could be, a new movie or just anything. So it's kind of like just depends on what I'm into. And then I think, in general, I think fashion is very interesting now because it's like, what is it? And like, nobody really can define it anymore. And it's kind of like a free-for-all in a way. So for me, I just am doing what I like to do, and hopefully people like to wear it and buy it.
And speaking of people who like to wear it, you have a huge celebrity following, and numerous people, Lee Lazark and tons of girls I always see at your shows. Who do you have expected this year?
It's always funny because I have such a random mix of girls who have worn clothes or who I like to dress. Nicki Minaj wore a really amazing gown on SNL previously, which is really funny because I think she's kind of more of a, she's like a bit quirky and weird and wears crazy things, and then I could dress someone like her, and then I could dress someone who's more like a Rosario Dawson, who's more chic and sophisticated and like kind of a little more subdued in a way. So I like that mix. So I think at the show we'll have that mix as well, but I can't say exactly who because I would give it away and then it's not exciting. But it'll be a few faces that we've seen before who I love. And then some new, fun, like just cool girls who I love. I can tell you that I love Sophia, who is coming, who is on the new show Skins. I think that she's so cool. So that will be my one giveaway because I just love her. And she will be coming and looking amazing.
All right, I look forward to it. Do you want to show me some clothes?
Yes, let's look at clothes.
Let's do it.